What's up, guys? This is Ryan from thetechapple.com, and today I'm bringing you with the top Apple news of the week. So let's get right into it. So the first thing I'm going to be talking about is a website called Ars Technica. On their traffic logs, they actually found that a device running iOS 6, supposedly an iPad 3, was roaming their sites. And when they actually checked where their IP address was from, they found that it was in Cupertino, which is where the Apple headquarters are. Now, another website was actually checking their Google Analytics, and they found in there that a device with a screen resolution of 2048 by 1536 was roaming their site. And that is what supposedly the iPad 3 screen resolution is going to be. And there's not really any other known devices with that screen resolution. So it is possible that we are looking at an iPad 3 with a 2048 by 1536 Retina display screen resolution. Now back onto the topic of iOS 6. There is some speculation that they might release iOS 6 on the iPad 3, but that's not very likely. What is likely happening is they are testing iOS 6 for a future release. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. Now the next topic is the Apple job creations page. They actually released a page on their website over this past weekend called Job Creations, and they basically stated that they support over 514 US jobs. 304,000 of them are actually related to engineering, manufacturing, and transportation. 210,000 have to do with iOS economy application development. 27,350 of them actually work in actual Apple stores. And did you know that there is 246 Apple stores in 44 states in the United States? If you want more cool facts like this, I will leave a link to the job creations page in the description below, so go ahead and check that out. And the next topic is Corning Gorilla Glass. They actually found out from the jobs creations page that Apple does use Corning Gorilla Glass on their iPhone devices. Now, it's unsure if they use it on their iPad and iPod Touch devices also, but it is likely. For those of you who are unaware of what Corning Gorilla Glass does, they actually make a very strong glass, so if you drop your device, it's less likely that the screen will actually crack. And it's been unknown for years what type of glass that the iPhone and their other devices use. So it is finally good we get some closure on what type of glass that they use. And I might add that this is odd that Apple has hidden this for years, because this is a good thing, and Corning does actually make some really strong glass. My next topic is the media event. For those of you unaware, Apple is going to be having a media event this upcoming Wednesday. It's going to be at 10 a.m. Pacific and 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And it's going to be at the Yerba Buena Center of Art in San Francisco. And what they are going to be announcing is likely the iPad 3 and the Apple TV. Now, it is unsure if they're actually going to announce the Apple TV at this event, but it is likely because many Apple stores are saying they're going to be restocking on their Apple TVs on the 7th or 8th of March. So that would be a likely release frame that they would actually release the Apple TV. If you would like to watch this event live, Apple is likely going to be live streaming it, and I'll leave a link in the description below on how you could watch it. Also, over the weekend, there was a video release of the iPad 3 being assembled. MIC Gadget has gotten a hold of the front panel and the back panel of the iPad 3, and they actually made a video of them putting it together. There is actually no internal parts that they have a hold of, but they basically have the outer frame of it. And they actually put it together on video, and they showed us that it is 1mm bigger than the iPad 2. And the smart cover actually fits on it. And they also did attempt to try putting some iPad 2 cases on it, but none of them fit due to the tapering on the edges of the iPad 3. In some cases that some companies were releasing for the iPad 3, they do fit on this iPad 3, so it is likely to be this size. And for those of you who think that the iPad 3 isn't going to have a home button, I'm going to let you know right now it is going to have a home button, because there wasn't a rumor or there wasn't a picture that was released of a leaked iPad 3 that didn't have a home button. In this video, they did show a home button on the iPad 3, so it's just another reason to think that. And if you really take a close look at that picture Apple sent out, the icons are in landscape mode because of how close they are together, and that background image, the drops of water aren't usually like that when they're in portrait mode, so it is likely that it is in landscape mode. And Siri is likely to be on the iPad 3. They actually did find a code name B28, and they say that is likely the code name for Siri. The next topic is 25 billion downloads in the application store. Between January of 2011 and March of 2012, Apple actually had 15 billion downloads on their application store. So basically they had 15 billion in almost 1 year. The winner is going to get a $10,000 iTunes gift card, and the winner's name was actually Chun-Li Fu from China. At this pace, Apple is on pace for 40 billion application downloads before 2012 ends. If you would like to check out the top applications through the year, Apple actually released a list of them, and you can check that out in the description below. I'll leave the links to that. My next topic is Google. They are actually developing a assistant just like Siri. They're going to be competition for Siri. It's going to be called Google Assistant, and it's going to be actually open source, so that means application developers, they can actually go into the source for Google Assistant, and they're going to be able to integrate it with their applications. Now that is one thing Siri cannot do, but keep in mind Siri is currently in beta, so by this year's end, Siri is probably going to be able to do that if Apple decides to make Siri open sourced. The project is actually led by Google and Android, who have both had past histories in voice technology, so they should be able to create a good voice assistant. It is planned to be released in Q4 of 2012, and it would be expected that it would be released on Android 5 Jelly Bean, so get prepared for that. Well, anyways guys, that wraps it up for today. That was your past news from basically all this past weekend, I think. If you would like any more info on the topics I talked about, I do have links in the description below for every single blog post. And always remember to check out detectapple.com for the latest Apple news, rumors, and jailbreak updates. And I'll see you guys in the next one.